Hi, this is Plan 9 Reviews. I'm Todd and this is Randy, and today we're going to be talking about Snowfucker.
Snowfucker's my favorite of the Fucker trilogy. Firefucker.
Meet the Fuckers.
Yeah, Meet the Fuckers, and Captain Fucker, the Fucker Soldier. This is the last call reviews, Todd and Randy, and we're reviewing Snowpiercer, which, actually after you said Snowfucker, I'm kind of thinking,
Yeah.
I should have renamed the movie.
Yeah, it'd be a pretty cool title. Snow Bastard.
This film is directed by, I can't believe I forgot it. It's like
The host.
the guy directed the host,
The Korean one.
and Mother, John. I want to say it's like Joon-Ho Bong or something. I apologize, I don't remember his name. I'm a huge Korean film fan, like Chan-Woo Park and stuff, Old Boy and stuff like that. Seen a lot of crime films from Korea. See a lot of horror films from Korea. He made some kind of weird American-Korean hybrid film with this. I was hearing a lot of hype about this.
A multilingual movie.
Yeah, no, there's like all sorts of fucking accents in this movie. Basically the setup is that a dystopian future where we just got covered in fucking snow and ice and the world's frozen. I guess Elsa just went around and froze everything. So Wilfred, or is it's Wilfred, right? Yeah, this
Wilfred, yes.
He builds a super train that people have been on for the last 17 years, and each cart of this train has different people on it.
A different social class system.
Yes.
And the back of the train's the lowest, the front's
the rich.
Wilfred.
Yeah, and Wilfred's at the front and the rich, and so far through the middle. Very 1984-esque. The train's been going around for 17 years, though, and the people in the back, you kind of just jump into the movie and find out that they have been planning a revolt for a long time. Ran by Curtis, played by Chris Evans, aka Captain America. Bearded Evans. It was very beardly, very manly. Went and cut a tree down and came and made a movie.
It's cold there, so he needs a beard to protect his face.
Yeah. So the movie spent about 15-20 minutes around there setting up the universe and the world and putting you in this dystopian thing and showing you some aesthetics, introducing you to some of the characters here and there. Then they're like, okay, let's go for it. Let's fucking get to the front of the train, you know. And at that point, I think it's an okay movie. It's very, like...
It's nothing you haven't seen before.
Low budget, kind of, at that point, too, looking.
Yeah, the tone's a little strange.
Then they start going through the train carts, and... I won't spoil it or anything. I don't want to at all because it's a highlight. But there's a sequence that comes up at some point. I don't want to say early on in the movie. Probably almost midway. It comes up at some point in the film. And it kind of changes everything. You realize that this movie's completely different from what you thought it was going to be. It's going to surprise you. It is fucking a weird movie.
It was all like the hammer sequence in Old Boy.
Yes, it was...
not necessarily how it was shot completely,
no,
but...
what it did for the film.
How it was set up and how it played in the film.
It's... I don't know if it's arguably my favorite scene in a movie I've seen this year. For its originality and how long it goes and how visceral it is, how much it accomplishes in one environment.
That is one thing with this film, is it takes very simple concepts, like what if all of humanity surviving's on a train?
Yeah.
And what if each car with is a different class system? It takes very simple ideas and really expands upon them and executes them pretty much as fully as you possibly could.
It's the thing where we said there were so many lazy films this year where you're like, well, they put no effort in, like Transformers 4, they have all this money. This director and this cast and everyone, and the writers, everything that they have, they take it to the farthest places it can go.
Yeah.
Like they put as much possible effort you could into making a dystopian train film. I mean, it really is like as far as it could possibly go. And then you're thinking, well, do I want that? And the more it reveals itself, you realize you really do.
Yeah, the first
really
10-15 minutes, I was like, I don't know, is this...
Yeah.
Am I going to be bored, or am I not going to be interested in this movie? And then once it gets started, it's pretty much non-stop from that point on.
And it keeps expanding. Each cart, it's like it becomes a bigger film and a more cinematic film.
And you find out more about the universe. It's kind of almost an adventure movie.
Yeah, no, it is.
But a very dark one, a very action-oriented one.
There's a character in it named Gilliam, played by John Hurt, and that is no doubt a reference to Terry Gilliam. This is very much in the vein of a Terry Gilliam film like Brazil. Very much Brazil. Adventures of Baron Munchausen, you know, Time Bandits. His work from the 80s and stuff, where he used a lot of sets, a lot of weird characters, clear metaphors about the world we live in and so on. A lot of stuff Gilliam loves, you know, with some humor spiced in. They're very strange. And what shocked me the most about it when it got to a point was, you know, they have all these characters, and you like them for the most part. And Chris Evans, really great in this, really good performance.
Yeah, he's not given much to do actually as an actor, but his presence adds a lot.
But I was surprised by the drama. I ended up really caring about these people getting to the front of this train, and
especially when it starts out, there's probably at least 100 of them.
Yeah.
But they get brought down more and more.
And when certain characters
when
die,
there's the last 8 or so,
yeah,
then it becomes very.
It'll get sad. It gets sad because there's a lot to each character, why their motivations are what they are. So when certain characters die because of their motivations, it's really sad. It really is. It got to me, especially where the sequence takes place. There's one sequence where there's a shootout, and the area that it takes place in, I think, was just like, holy shit, this is like a really fucked up idea.
No, it's a case of a scene starting one way and then becoming something completely different by the end of the scene.
The movie does that over and over and over again too. It keeps going into these new places, and you don't know what the scene's going to be, and then the director keeps twisting the knife and changing it into something much more darker than you thought it was originally. The scene, every scene.
Yeah, pretty much everyone does. I don't think one scene is like, oh, that went pretty well.
No, it always goes bad.
And things went well for these guys.
And Chris Evans' character keeps going into this world that's so fucked up, and it's these I don't know, phantasmagorical imagery and surrealism, and it's a mix of like stuff we've seen Nicholas Winding Refn do with Only God Forgives and Terry Gilliam stuff, and I said it felt like Harry Potter, Pan's Labyrinth, Del Toro. There's all these different styles and stuff all coming together in this one movie, and what's that word? Frequency or what?
Frequency?
I don't. It's when you put a bunch of things together to contrast each other for that reason, to show how they can contrast each other.
Almost like a cornucopia.
Yeah, it's there's like a word, frequency or something like that. I can't think of it right now, but that was the word that came to my head last time watching it. We just woke up so tired, but the word, where you put a bunch of contrasting things together to create an effect with that, and that's what this does. Is like there's 20 different ideas and tones and films in here.
It starts a very grimy, dark film, and then becomes a very polished, colorful movie.
Yeah, looks very Hollywood and expensive by the end of it, and you're like, oh, okay, this wasn't what I was expecting. And kudos to this Asian actor they cast to play kind of the main supporting role.
Was he the guy from The Host?
I believe so.
I thought it might have been, but I didn't know.
I haven't seen The Host in a few years, but it looked like him. He's a huge star of Korea. I like that he got a big role here. There's a weird thing where he doesn't get subtitles for his role, and they have this voice changer. They have this voice.
It's a translator. They speak into it, and then it comes out the other end, and whatever.
One of them says it.
Whatever language that it needs to for that person to hear, but they never really use it.
They use it like 5 times, and the rest of the time, all of his dialogue, there's no subtitles. So I'm assuming it's for Korean audiences. It's weird.
But he gets a whole monologue at one point without subtitles, and he can follow it well enough.
Yeah,
but it'd be nice to hear the dialogue.
Yeah, it's strange because I don't know. It's one of my only real big problems with the movie is I wanted to know what he was saying sometimes.
Well, him and another character that he's with through the movie are two of the more interesting characters.
Yes.
Without giving away, because it is one of the main.
Yeah, I don't want to spoil. That's the thing. We're like, the cool thing about this movie, what's the genius of it, is once they start going through the train and you're with them, you don't know what's going to be in the next cart. Every cart they go into, you don't know what's going to happen like they do. So the director basically can do whatever he wants, which means he could make a random movie, but there's a coherence and a heaviness of theme in it that he keeps through the whole thing.
Yeah, it's always very focused on this class system and how it exists and how they live on a train. So it's not just like, what's in this room and it's a fun house sort of thing. So much as each one does build upon the the universe created.
And then you think, I don't know, this could have perfectly worked as just an action film, an action horror film, because like I said, there's that one sequence and it's just so fucking awesome that, like, you know, the movie could have just like wrapped up 30 minutes later and been fine. But once you get the revelations of what's really going on, because it's a mystery
Yeah, I don't know about you, but I was never totally sold on the train aspect of it until the end when they do.
No.
Kind of get like the Matrix. It reminded me of.
No, definitely. I would, or the Abyss and stuff.
Yeah.
I would say this film has a really great ending. Like when they reveal what's the character's motivations, especially Chris Evans' character. You find out a little bit more about him, and you find out more about the train and how it runs. And it's psychologically deep. It's really something you think about. It's not simple. It's not black and white even. It's very gray, and it says a lot about the world we live in currently and humanity as a whole. And I give the director a lot of credit for making this strange film to present.
It's definitely not a safe movie.
No.
Even the concept, I don't think would be easy to sell to a producer.
No. I know the Weinsteins are releasing this, and they're trying to get something going with the theater. If you do see this in limited release or something, do try to see this because it's original. And I can't say that about probably any other film I saw this summer.
Yeah, it's a movie you could definitely talk about.
Yeah, it's original and warrants discussion. And I kind of want to rewatch it again because there's things about it you're like, well, now maybe I need to go back and look at something differently, or some character relationships I didn't think about before in a certain context. But yeah, it's just a strange world he creates. I always give a director credit for being original, and this guy makes a world you live in, and then he expands upon it, and then he shows you it's actually a pretty intelligent story. It's not just action, you know.
Yeah.
It becomes very story-driven by the last act, actually.
Yeah, a lot of the story does feel familiar.
Yeah.
With all the dystopian things, unfortunately.
Yeah, he mixes 1984
Yeah, there's a lot, almost too much 1984 for one non-adaptation movie.
Yeah, my only thing is that 1984 has never had a good movie made of it. I know there's the John Hurt 80s movie, so if this is as close, if you have to put it on a speeding train to get somebody to make a decent 1984 adaptation type thing. But yeah, it is very much stuff you see in other dystopian films. It's just the aesthetic that's different. It's on a moving train.
Yeah, that's really the big difference.
And the compartments and what happens with each one of them. No, if it wasn't for that, it'd be a very good dystopian movie.
Well, it functions more as an allegorical concept than an actual dystopian one.
That's true. That's true. Yeah, it would work as a film like that, but the action and the visceralness of it makes it something else.
Yeah, you don't have to really focus on it much. It's more about, we're in this card. Oh, Jesus, this is happening? Okay, now oh, God, no.
No, it's so tense at points. There's points where you don't know what the fuck's going to happen. And it's like the writers are smart at coming up with something new to do when they...
It felt like a constant writer's workshop for every card.
I know.
Where they start like, okay, this one will be like this. How's this work? Okay, where's it going to go? We have to completely change it. Have we done everything we can with this concept? Okay, let's go to the next one.
Yeah, I mean, I just have some minor problems. It's that subtitle thing. Some weirdness that this is a Korean director. There's scenes in this that are fucking weird, like very jokey and strange, like with characters doing... I mean, there's like that shooting scene. There's just... There's stuff that's just weird.
Yeah, it is adapted from a comic book.
Yeah, 1982 graphic novel, from what I've heard.
And you can definitely tell with some things that...
It's very comic
It seems like something that might work in a comic.
Yeah.
But in a film like this, with the tone of this movie, it is strange.
I think if the director... Now, I don't know, he might... This film's kind of made to be foreign and American, so I don't want to criticize it too much. But I think if the director would have changed or cut some of that stuff, and I would have got a few more little things I wanted from certain characters or moments... I think this could have been like a little minor classic for me. I think this could have been a minor master work. But as it stands now, I'll save for the last call for me, just because I don't want to make it too long. It's really a hard film to talk about because there's no spoilers.
It's based on surprise. Yeah. If we convince someone to watch the movie through this review, but we gave everything away, there's no point in them watching.
Yeah, like I don't want to reveal that big scene to you because that's the scene. Don't let somebody ruin that for you. People are even telling you about what's in that scene. Don't even find out what weapons are in that scene. It's very exciting not to know. I didn't know. You know, that's
yeah.
But for me now, I was going back and forth on it a lot. But at the end of the day, just because of the visuals alone and this creative world the director creates, I have to give it an A-. I was gonna go B+, but it's too visceral and real and lived in and beautiful. I mean, it's a great job as a filmmaker.
It's another very well-made movie. And I think in comparison to The Fault in Our Stars or some other movies like that we've reviewed, I think it does have a strong enough concept.
Me too.
And I think they definitely build upon it enough.
I do
that
too.
It warrants such a well-made movie.
No,
which is good to see.
The sets, the costumes, the makeup,
the acting.
Chris
Evans
really
good in it.
No, everyone, and there's just cool things like the people in the back of the train have they throw down like these barrels or pipe or tubing, and they can run on it to go through deeper in the train. And if they need different people,
yeah.
I mean, it's very clever stuff. It's always,
it's not really focused on much at that point, but
no, it's just
the more you watch it, the more you realize these people have their stuff together.
There was a plan. There was a clear plan, and then the film constantly surprises you, which is what I like about it. He just throws you in. There's no need to explain everything. You find out more about the world as you go on, which I think was a smart decision. But Evans proves he's the real deal here. Great acting job by him, mad charisma, love him with a beard. Great fucking idea for a movie, and really fun idea for a movie, and really just a fun film that could have just been that, but it has emotion to it.
It's a strange movie in terms of tone because it's really fun, but it's also really dark.
Yeah, it's extremely dark. I mean, this is dark stuff. This is like, you remember it's a Korean director. Yeah. They do fucked up stuff in their movies, and there's scenes where I was like, Jesus, that's a but yeah, it's an A- to me. I just have to, it's too original, and definitely one of the best movies I've seen this year with X-Men. And there was another movie I've seen this year that I'd probably put up there with it, but yeah, great movie. Good job by the director. Good job Chris Evans taking this role. This is a bold choice to be in a movie like this. To play a character who has
after the Marvel Universe and other things, he easily could have done like poor Gerard Butler, like 5 romantic comedies.
Or some shitty generic action movies or something. The fact he wanted to work on something just completely different that Hollywood does not make. No, low key.
I know.
Yeah. But yeah, I noticed, but yeah, look for Snowpiercer. It's going to be limited. I don't know where you're going to be able to find it.
Yeah, it's definitely not going to be a big release.
But if you can't, DVD, Blu-ray, whatever, if you want to just, like, risk buy it, if you're into this kind of thing, like you like Korean films and stuff, definitely just go buy it if this is your kind of thing. If you don't know, rent it, definitely. Like, give this movie some money. It's the type of movie that, pay to see it if you can, and, yeah, I highly recommend it, I think. Not for everyone, but for me as a subjective viewer and reviewing it, I think it's really good, and I do think it has mass appeal to a certain extent. It's clear what you can get from the movie, I think.